Good morning. Thanks for joining us on what will hopefully be an informative and interesting couple of hours. I'm Tara Mills, and I'm delighted to be here to chair this morning's conference. It's been organised by Belfast City Council, and we have a number of different speakers today. And we're looking at the recent work that was delivered in what has become known as the Decade of Centenaries. We'd like to invite you to engage with the conference throughout the morning by texting us any questions that you might have via the live chat function on your screen. We'll collate those questions and seek to provide answers to any queries or questions that you might have. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our funders. It's being delivered as part of Belfast City Council's series of projects under the Shared History Fund, which is being administered by the National Lottery Heritage Fund on behalf of the Northern Ireland Office. So to start us off this morning, I'd like to invite the Lord Mayor of Belfast, Councillor Kate Nicholl, to give us a warm welcome and set the scene for this morning's event. Lord Mayor.
Thank you very much, Tara. Good morning, everyone, from wherever you are tuning in from. I'm delighted to be here this morning to offer a few words of welcome for this conference. Our Decade of Centenaries program has been running now for the last 10 years, as the name would suggest. And this conference is in many ways a culmination of this as we draw our work on the Decade of Centenaries to a close. During the 10 years between 1912 and 1922, a number of momentous historical events occurred that shaped the history of Northern Ireland and indeed of the whole island. These events included the Ulster Covenant, the Home Rule crisis, the Battle of the Somme, the Easter Rising, the Irish War of Independence, the 1918 elections, and the subsequent setting up of two separate parliaments on the island in Belfast and in Dublin. Those events were decisive and had a significant repercussions for us all. The competing political aspirations of that time defined our own identities and cultures and have shaped our relationships over the past century. From the very first discussions in City Hall on the Decade of Centenaries, Belfast City Council took a positive approach. Councillors agreed that the marking of these events provided the city with an excellent opportunity to broaden our understanding of the past and develop respect for the complexity of our interwoven yet shared history. In 2011, the council's elected members on the then Historical Centenaries Working Group agreed a 3-year approach to the whole decade, but also agreed on those key events from 100 years ago that we should mark. The first phase of this covered the 1912 to 1914 period and was entitled Shared History, Different Allegiances. This covered a range of historical events such as the Balmoral Review, the Home Rule crisis, the Ulster Covenant, the Gaelic Revival, the rise of the suffragette and labour movements, the formation of the YCB, along with various armings of the UVF and the Irish Volunteers. The council hosted a large-scale exhibition in the City Hall and delivered a range of civic events on these. Through grant aid, the council also supported communities in their own exploration of history through funding from our Good Relations Fund. The second period, 1914 to 1918, covered the period of World War I, including the Battle of the Somme and the Easter Rising. And the bulk of this activity took place over 2016 under the banner Belfast Reflections on 1916. A major exhibition was commissioned covering the Somme and the Easter Rising, and around 15,000 people visited this during the 6 months that it was in place in City Hall. Council also rolled out an agreed annual civic programme of events during each year of the decade, which were open to the public and also free to attend. We're now coming to the completion of the final phase of our programme, which has covered a number of themes, including the Irish Covenant of 1918, Votes for Women, and marking the first female MP to be elected to Parliament, Spanish flu, the Irish War of Independence, the Anglo-Irish Treaty, and the subsequent setting up of two parliaments on this island, with City Hall being the location for the inauguration of the first Northern Ireland Parliament in June 1921. We delivered a very comprehensive series of events throughout the last year, the highlight of which was our reenactment of the King's Speech from June 1921 at a live streamed event in the Council Chamber, which I was delighted to preside over. Back in 2011, the Council showed strong and positive leadership on the issue of how to navigate our way through the then impending decade of centenaries by adopting a series of principles under which all of our events and activities would be undertaken. These principles, developed in association with the Community Relations Council and the Heritage Lottery, principles underpinned all of our events and activities and served as the framework in which the decade operated in. Indeed, it gave our elected representatives confidence and a certain assurance of how the events would be delivered. By anchoring our programs in this framework, the Council was able to deliver a total package that was able to incorporate a wide perspective of events and activities in which ordinary citizens were able to engage in a very open, positive, and often challenging manner. The reflective way in which we've approached this period has enabled everyone in the city to look back on those key events over 100 years ago in a way that's fostered openness and inclusion and respect. We've been able to work together to demonstrate respect for different opinions and views, and have been able to attend and participate in events that are perceived as belonging to the other community. That spirit of outreach and respect has been evident in much of our activity. So it is again with that spirit that I welcome you to today's conference. I hope that you find it interesting, educational, and enjoyable. And thanks so much to the funders at the Shed History Fund, which is being administered by the National Lottery Heritage Fund, and on behalf of the Northern Ireland Office, also our funders at the Executive Office for their ongoing support from the District Council's Good Relation Programme. I'll now hand back to Tara. Thank you.